Inside Gaming is sponsored by ExpressVPN. Don't let your internet provider see all the sites you visit. Hide your browsing activity at expressvpn.com/inside. You may have heard not too long ago that Netflix has been planning on getting into games. Well, earlier this week, the streaming company announced their first studio acquisition. The official press release reads, "We're in the early stages of creating a great gaming experience for our members around the world. So we're excited to announce today, Night School Studio is joining Netflix." According to past reports, Netflix plans to bring games into their regular subscription service without ads or in-game purchases, but what's unclear is just how it's all going to work, in addition to what kinds of games they're going to be offering, and even how people are going to play them. Netflix has obviously dipped their toes into the interactive entertainment waters before with things like the Black Mirror Bandersnatch episode, but Night School is a game developer with significant releases across multiple and more traditional gaming platforms. If you're not familiar, Night School is the indie developer behind the spooky and atmospheric adventure game Oxenfree, as well as After Party, a game where you die, go to hell, and then try to outdrink Satan so he'll re-grant you life on Earth. Both games implement a dynamic conversation system that remembers your choices, which then go on to impact your relationships with other characters in addition to steering both small and major narrative events. It's not an entirely new concept, but Night School's dialogue mechanics have been well received, usually feeling ever present and more nuanced than the usual and very obvious binary choices you see in most games. Night School also made an Apple Arcade game called Next Stop Nowhere, and they are currently working on Oxenfree 2, Lost Signals, which is slated to come out in 2022. Also, it feels like this probably isn't the direction Netflix is heading in the future, but it's worth noting that Night School also developed an alternate reality game for the critically acclaimed television series Mr. Robot, where players would use their phone to interact with characters from the show via text messages. ARGs aren't exactly the most popular genre, but with a healthy and growing amount of Netflix series and movies, it's not hard to imagine a world where Netflix capitalizes on producing their own tie-in or licensed games internally. For example, Squid Game, a popular new show on the streaming service, has basically taken Roblox by storm, as tons of players have been building their own versions of the twisted games depicted during the series. Clearly, there's enough interest in Netflix properties to build official games with potential, but there's also plenty of room for Netflix to build entirely new IPs with their games, the way they have done with shows and movies in the past. Either way, it kind of makes you wonder which developer Netflix will scoop up next. Night School isn't a huge studio, with roughly around 20 developers, but you have to imagine they're only the first acquisition of many. However, money and buying up studios isn't everything, as we've seen with Amazon and Google stumbling their way into games and leaving a trail of dead projects and studios along the way. Needless to say, there's a lot of questions about how Netflix plans to compete in the space. Will games on the service have to be playable with the TV remote? Will Netflix be building its own controllers, dongles, or box top sets? Will there be a way to play Netflix service games locally, or will everything just live in the cloud? We're sure you have lots of questions and ideas around Netflix's recent foray into games too, so feel free to share them in the comments, and thanks for watching.